All right, hello everybody. It's 3 o'clock Eastern, so we're going to get started. And welcome to Promoting CALI at Your School. Welcome to our webinar. My name is Austin Groothuis. I'm the marketing manager here at CALI. First off, a little bit about the webinars. If you've been here before, you know this, but they're produced by us, CALI, Center for Computer Assisted Legal Instruction. That's at cali.org. Fridays at 3 p.m. Eastern is when we host these. And I think this will be the last one of the semester, and we'll start them up again next semester. So if I don't see you again, have a good holiday. It's a free service for CALI member schools, and we'd love to have your feedback, topics, and if you'd like to volunteer. We've had guest presenters in the past, and that works out very well. So if you have a topic on technology and legal education, or anything you just want to talk about that our membership might be interested in, please email me. And as far as keeping up with these webinar announcements and updates, you can do that on our blog, on our Twitter feed, or our Facebook page. Please follow those, and I'll talk about those more later since this is our marketing webinar. Also, we're going to record this, so keep an eye out for that on calivideos.blip.tv. We have a nice archive of all the past webinars, so anything you're interested in, take a look at those videos. And we also encourage you to ask questions throughout this. There are a few ways to do that. One is to raise your hand. So if you see that little icon that looks like a hand, that is the hand-raising tool. So I'd like you to go ahead and hit that for me so I can see who's found that. Yeah, it looks like you guys can find the hand. You can also use the chat. And if you do raise your hand, I will unmute you because I want this to be interactive. If you have questions, I want you to go ahead and ask them and let me know and interrupt me. So if you'd like to do that, go ahead. There's also our chat and question function, which I will see. So if you have a question, you can do it that way, through the chat or question function. That's me. I'm presenting. I'm the marketing manager here at CALI, and also we have a lot of our staff members here too. Deb Quintel, John Mayer, Levon Molda, and Sam Goshorn are all on the call as well. All CALI staffers. They say hello too, I'm sure. Hello. So first off, why would we want you, or why would you want to help us out? Why would you want to, take your time to market CALI to your students and to your faculty? It seems a little self-serving of us to have a webinar here asking you to do that, and it is in some respects. But there are reasons that I think you guys should market CALI to your students and to your school. First of all, and are most of you reps? Can you raise your hand if you're a CALI rep or you're in some role for CALI? Looks like most of you are. So if you're in that role, and especially if you have the authorization code contact, there's a good chance around this time you're getting a lot of requests for the CALI code, for the authorization code. So what's in it for you is if you proactively market CALI and promote CALI to your students and include that authorization code and show them how to get that authorization code, that's going to reduce the amount of requests for the code from you. So there is a little something in it for you. But also, you'll notice this is a post someone posted on our Facebook page, and it says it's from a student who was sitting in the library at Rutgers. Who didn't know what CALI was. So in other words, there are a bunch of students who don't know what this tool is, what this free tool that your school makes available to them. So, it's obviously a valuable tool for students. It's really popular, proven to work. We can show you all kinds of quotes of students who say CALI lessons saved them got them an A in a class or saved their butts for a certain subject they couldn't understand. Also, it's just another way, more interactive way to study for the students, and it's kind of unique in that it's interactive and online, which students really relate to. So in addition to that, they're going to like the fact that it doesn't cost any money. Of course, they're spending, let's face it, they're spending a bunch of money on commercial outlines and things like that. When they have one tool, at least that's a little bit different, and it's free to them. So finally, another reason is that CALI is a nonprofit organization, and our entire staff is on this call pretty much right now. We can't send reps, paid reps out to your school to promote our stuff like other big corporations can to the students. A lot of our marketing budget goes to the pretty face you saw at the beginning, goes to me. In other words, we don't have much of a marketing budget other than me and what we can do to get you guys involved, to spread the word and create a word of mouth about CALI to your students. So again, we want to keep your requests for the authorization code down through the proactive, promotion, and it's an important tool for students. They need to be informed of it and reminded of it. And your students will love you if you do. So what we have are what I think every school should do, those 5 basic steps that I talked about earlier and I mentioned. And they're real easy. They don't take much effort on your part. First off is orientation. You have to introduce the lessons in some way. You have to introduce CALI in some way to students to start off with in orientation so new students know about it. Then you need basically just 4 announcements to your entire student body if that's possible. One in the early fall to remind them about CALI and to let them know about it because as we know, and also for one else to hear about it again because we know during orientation they're pretty much being bombarded with information, so that orientation may not be the only way they should hear about it, but also that should go to your entire student body. Again, during finals to remind them about an important tool they can use to study for finals and just repeat that step in the spring. So that's pretty easy. Some more basics is that, of course, hopefully we send out, and because you're on this call, you probably know this. So I'm being very basic here, but we send out enough DVD-ROMs and authorization code cards for your entire student body. So if you can get those, hand those out in some way, and it's a big help. And a lot of people ask why we send that DVD out, why we send out so many DVDs. And a lot of people end up with extra DVDs. But the truth is students don't always have internet access. And we found that out earlier in the semester this year when our new site went down and not everybody had handed out all the DVDs. So the only way students could get to CALI lessons were DVDs. And not everybody had handed out all the DVDs. So in other words, make sure you get out all those DVDs to your students if at all possible. They're a nice backup. And also, since we're talking about promoting CALI, it's one of our biggest forms of promotion for CALI. The DVDs are, in fact, designed to send students to the website, but it's also a good backup because they can access the lessons when they're not online. So at orientation, what can you do? First off, it's nice if you can give a brief, have someone actually speaking about the DVDs. I know when I was a law student, I was just basically handed this, well, it was a CD at the time, handed the CD and not really given an explanation on it. So I found it in my orientation packet eventually, but I know a lot of students probably missed it. So it's important when you do hand these DVDs, and now we have the authorization code cards, hand those out. Just mention what it is, mention what CALI lessons are, why they might be interested in it, things like that. Also, I know a lot of schools actually hand these out, say in a class that everybody has, like legal writing, and even better, assign a CALI lesson to them or to incoming students. That way they have to actually register, and that way you'll know that they have registered. And of course you can use Lesson Link if you're familiar with that to see who takes a lesson. But if you do you'll find if you do actually assign a lesson to either incoming students or to all the students in a legal writing class, they'll of course have to register, so they'll have CALI lessons in mind. Another option is to give it out during a library tour or something like that. And again, make sure you give a description. And also, another idea is during classroom time, actually walk the students through registration, because that's a big snag for a lot of students. We get a lot of questions about registration and the authorization code. Admittedly, it is not necessarily so intuitive, an authorization code, but if you walk them through it or explain it to them, they should get the idea. And if you assign it to them, they have to learn how to register. Now, as far as those student announcements go, we talked about the four: one at the beginning of the semester, one towards the end during finals, and repeat that. There are certain ways you can actually include your authorization code. Obviously, we need to keep it protected and not available to the public. But if you email your students directly, it's not a problem to include your authorization code. We don't have a problem with that. If you put it straight into student mailboxes, you can tell them what everything is, what the CALI lessons are, and you can include your actual authorization code. And email is pretty nice because they can just copy and paste it, and we have students who have trouble actually getting the correct authorization code. But if they can copy and paste it, that's great. So another option is actually to put that announcement online on a blog or in your announcements that you send out, however that may be. I know most schools usually have a regular announcement system, so include that. Include a link to get to the authorization code, but make sure you put that authorization code behind a password, because the one thing we don't want to do is include that authorization code on a public website. That's one thing we can't do. So, for example, you can do an announcement in a student paper or a student newsletter, but if that ends up online publicly, you probably you can't include the authorization code verbatim in there. But one thing you can do is that you can say, make sure you get your authorization code from X, at the library desk. Then lay out a stack of authorization codes there at the library. That'll make it easy for them and hopefully cut down on the amount of authorization code requests you get. So what should these announcements be about? Well, it's real simple, just the early semester announcement. Introduce and explain the lessons, tell them what it's about, give them and explain that you need an authorization code to access cali.org, and also tell them how to register. Give them a brief rundown of that. Same thing for the late semester, except concentrate more on telling them that it's a preparation for finals. So at this point, if anybody has any questions, go ahead and let me know. Okay, got nothing. Okay. So where do you get the wording for these announcements? You can make up your own. You're free to do that, of course. But I've actually written some templates for you that you can find on our marketing website. And I created a tiny URL there that you can follow if you are interested in looking at this website. It has, like I said, templates for the announcement. It has other suggestions for using or for promoting CALI at your school. It has some files we've used in the past and other ideas. And it has the basics of, like we talked about, the 5 basic steps. That's also on there as well with suggestions for how to do that. So now the other thing, and this is a little bit trickier than students, but promoting CALI to faculty, we actually do have, we send a faculty authorization code, which probably know is different than the student authorization code, so make sure those don't get mixed up. But every probably 2 years we send faculty authorization code cards, which are basically student authorization code cards, but with the faculty authorization code. So those need to go to professors, and sometimes it's tough to get them to look at CALI lessons, but the best you can do is drop it in their mailbox with a letter and ask them, take a look. We have a list of new lessons they might be interested in. Send it along in an email. Let them know. Again, you can send the authorization codes in an email if they're to the right people, if they're to the faculty. But just suggest that to them. Let them know that it's out there as a tool they can use to assign or suggest to their students. And hopefully they'll find us. And again, those new lessons, and there's also an RSS feed for this, but for those new lessons, a lot of professors want to know what's new at CALI. CALI.org/lesson_new. You can find that straight from our front page as well. So how do you, because one of the goals is for us to have you as reps to get information from us that we think needs to be passed on to students or faculty or administration, and send that to them, filter it to the right person. That's one thing that we ask of you as a rep. And the way you can do that, of course, is, like I talked about earlier, the CALI Spotlight blog, which is cali.org/blog, our Facebook page, our Twitter page, and also we send rep emails, from both me and Levon, for important notifications and things like that. And what we want you to do is take those, see who they're intended for. If there's information in there that should go beyond you, pass those on to your librarians or to your students, your professors, or your IT people. So just let other people know, and that's what we really want you guys to do. Take a look at those emails and our notifications and our blogs, and pass that on if you can in other ways, whether it be through your blog or through your announcements, through your Facebook pages, things like that. So we do have, I keep a list of rep and contact emails for CALI Reps and for Contacts that I send emails to occasionally. And you can sign up for that. You should be in there automatically if you're a volunteer rep, as it looks like most of you are, but if any of you aren't, you can still take a look to see what I'm sending to you guys through that tiny URL. And that will allow you to get those emails. And another thing I'd like to go over is just who gets those emails and the 3 volunteer roles that people are in, because a lot of times it's not clear and it may be confusing whether you're a CALI rep, what does that mean, whether you're a CALI info tech contact, whether you're an authorization code contact. But there are 3 different roles that are available to your school, and they can be filled by one person or they can be filled by 3 different people. It doesn't matter. But those 3 different roles, one of them is, of course, the CALI rep. And what we kind of like with that is for your biggest advocate on campus of CALI, the person who can filter those emails onto your students and your faculty. We also have the role of the CALI information tech contact. This is the person who we ship the DVDs and the authorization code cards to each year. So if you don't know where those are at any point, where we're shipping them to, how we figure out who to send those to, that's to whom we have listed in the database as the information and technical contact at CALI. And we also have the authorization code contact. This is the person who is publicly listed at cali.org/contacts as the authorization, as the person the student should contact for the authorization code. So each of these is a slightly different role, and you can put different people in them. And you can keep those updated with us through either me or Levon. And the reason that's important for this is that these are the three people that I usually include on informational emails and things like that. So it's the people that need to know those things. So another thing we can do is if you do have a request or if you do have an idea for marketing CALI, let us know what you do besides what I've mentioned here. You can email me at agrothuis@cali.org. If you make up an announcement of your own, I can take that and post it on that marketing website that we have. As another example, if you make up your own flyers or posters, send those to me, and I can even maybe help you create something like that if it's something you're interested in. Like I said, we don't have much of a budget, but if you have ideas, just let me know. We'll go over it and see what we can do and how we can help you. So we definitely want to encourage you to do that.
I got a question, Austin.
Sure.
So how do you pronounce your name?
It's actually pronounced Groothuis, which is not how it's spelled. I realize that.
Groothuis.
Yeah, you should know that.
Just being a good, what do you call that? Chill.
Yeah, it's actually pronounced Groothuis. So that is the end. That, like I said, is just a real basic rundown of what you can do to promote CALI at your school. So if you have any questions, please let me know. You can let me know now, or you can send it in an email. Again, my email address is agrothuis. So if there are no further questions, again, this is the last webinar of the semester, so thanks again. And look for this recording to be on calivideos.blip.tv and send that along to your colleagues. All right, thanks.